You know, one thing I hate doing is answering the phone. Don't get me wrong, the phone is an amazing invention. But when I hear the ringing of the phone, it's like an annoying alarm clock in the morning. Someone with communication skills, I cannot answer this call right now. Anyone? No one? Fine, I'll just answer it. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, hi, Mom. Yes, I'm doing well. I'm kind of in the middle of recording my speech and debate video right now. Yes, I'll do my chores when I get home. I said I'll do them when I get home. No, I'm not trying to yell at you. I said I'll get them done when I get home. Okay. Bye. Love you. I hated that phone call. Don't get me wrong, I love my mom. But how many times do I have to say hello and repeat the same thing over and over again before you can hear me? I get so nervous when people don't understand me. I get so stressed out when I can't represent myself. The human communication system is a complex system. We can express our thoughts and ideas on a limited number of topics: the weather, gossip, or even how to fix the kitchen sink. Although the human communication system is an amazing development, there are also some barriers to communication. Problems in speaking, from saying sounds incorrectly, from unable to understand speech or speak at all. According to the National Institute on Deafness and Communication Disorders, by the first grade, roughly 5% of children will have a noticeable speech impediment, including stuttering, speech sound disorders, or dysarthria. For me, this is my reality. I go through a motor planning glitch, which means all the neurological events that take place in my head to produce a correct sound correctly is where my problem is for me. Speech impediments don't get a lot of representation for them. They are hardly supported enough through schools and for the individuals affected by them. So first, we are going to be speechy and look into the different types of speech impediments. Second, we are going to look into my head and understand the brain and the concept of speaking. Finally, we're going to look into speech therapy and understand the psychological damages that are affected by these individuals. So you have probably had problems with your voice at some time. You probably had a cold and lost your voice. Or you went through puberty and it cracked a lot. Some voice problems last for a short amount of time, while others take longer, or you were just born with it. As a child, you are constantly trying to speak, from saying ooh and ah sounds, from trying to get a cookie, or yelling at the top of your lungs because your mom won't get you the Thomas and Trains, the Great Discovery Action Mountain train set you really wanted as a child. Speech impediments are the problem with one's voice. They are a disorder that affects the way a person speaks. There are three main types of speech disorders: articulation, fluency, and voice disorders. Articulation disorders are errors in the related and the muscles of the anatomical or physiological limitations and the muscular, skeletal, and neuromuscular system and speech production. These disorders include omissions, substitutions, and distortions. Fluency disorders are errors are the prolongations and stops of one's voice. The common fluency disorders is stuttering. Stuttering affects the way a person speaks by stopping or prolongation of syllables. According to the NIDCD, stuttering can affect all ages, but is more frequently occurred in ages 2 and 6, as in 1 in 4 children will continue stuttering for the rest of their lives. Voice disorders are the quality and errors in the one's voice. Apraxia is when the lips and muscles of one's face are not able to produce sound. This arthur differs from apraxia, where speech muscles are weak due to brain damage. Aphasia is when people cannot understand speech or understand written speech at all. With all these different types of speech impediments, when it comes to understanding the brain and therapy, it can help us look into how these speech impediments are developed and how to help these individuals. Saying words and forming a comprehensible sentence is a complex system. The formation of speech takes a lot of brain power. We have to turn our ideas and thoughts into actual spoken words, form a comprehensible sentence, and then tell the muscles of our face to produce that correct sound. When talking into the brain, the Broca's area is an area in the left hemisphere of your brain. It is located in the frontal lobe of your brain. The Broca's area takes your thoughts and ideas and turns them into actual spoken words. It sends that information to the motor cortex. As the Broca's area is the most founded source the area right before you speak. The motor cortex is located in the frontal lobe. To speak correctly, the motor cortex tells the muscles of your face, mouth, tongue, lips, and throat to say a correct sound. It takes that information from the Broca's area and takes it to the motor cortex to produce that sound. Next is the Wernicke's area. The Wernicke's area is located in the temporal lobe, just behind your ear. It is mainly involved in understanding sound and speech production. Therapy. Speech therapy is mostly performed by speech and language pathologists. Speech therapy is an assessment or treatment of speech communication disorders. There are both structured and unstructured activities. The activities that are more unstructured, more playful, are when the child and speech language pathologists are just playing together. The structured, more controlled, is when the child and speech therapists are focusing on just one word and trying to produce that correct sound, as in A or S or any other types of speech sounds. Within home, the grocery store, and even schools, the way we communicate and talk and communicate to one another is how we are able to express our thoughts and ideas on a limited number of topics. But when a person with a speech disorder tries to speak for themselves, they get bullied, interrupted, and most of all, their voice is stolen by others that think it's okay. A person with a speech disorder already has so much difficulties with speaking in the first place, and when we get interrupted or our voice is stolen, it only causes more harm on us. According to Dr. Predlock at the University of Vermont on deafness and communication disorders, having children not being unable to speak for themselves will have behavioral challenges, communication problems, reading challenges, and grade retention, and high school dropouts. Parents, peers, and caregivers need to understand that speech and language skills are developed at different times at different rates, and that you need to give us time to speak. Let us speak, and we'll be okay. But an also important thing is when a person with a speech impediment feels so alone. Marilyn Monroe, Emily Blunt, King George, James Earl Jones, Joe Biden. All these people I just named have a speech impediment and overcame their struggles to become their best selves. Throughout this discussion, we have talked about what speech impediments are, how they are developed, how they are treated, and the psychological damages one faces when they speak for themselves. These famous people that I named, and many, many more, struggled throughout their lives to speak for themselves, but they also strive to become their best selves, as I have done that today. I have struggled to speak for you and to share my voice, but as speech and debate helps me to strive and become my best selves. So, can you hear me now?